FEMA seems to be changing its mind about urgently needing additional federal funds. We have someone who says this is all a game of politics and sees ways of cutting spending from the agency itself. We welcome former FEMA Director Michael Brown. So, Michael, is FEMA going to end up with less money because of all this politicking?
I don't think so, David. I think they'll end up with the same amount of money that they need. But what I find amazing is the accounting games that are being played. They're not being played by FEMA, but they're being played by congressional leaders on the Hill. There is money that has not yet been spent. It has been obligated but not spent, and they can simply use that money for current things that have to be paid now. It's like getting it at the end of the month. You know you have to pay your utility bill because it's due now, so you pay it now and put off something later. It's kind of it's almost like Enron accounting on steroids. We need to recognize that there's just money still there right now.
Well, what happens, though, say, I mean, thankfully we didn't have that bad a hurricane season. What happens if we do and FEMA runs out of money?
Well, I think that's the bigger issue, and I think you're spot on with that question, David, because if we have another 9/11 or there's some serious catastrophic event, at that point you have to start paying current expenses. You have to pay to get the urban search and rescue teams to the site of the attack or whatever. Those are things you have to pay Johnny on the spot. That's going to be a real problem because we're borrowing, what, 40 cents of every dollar we spend at the federal level.
Well, preparing for that moment, and forgive me, Michael, we only have 30 seconds. What should we cut from FEMA, preparing for that moment?
Well, I think what we ought to do is figure out how can we consolidate some of the offices, how can we consolidate some of the programs, and frankly, and I know this is a broken record for me, get them out of Homeland Security where they don't have that additional overhead.
How would that save them money if they pull out of Homeland Security?
Well, because right now you have duplicated programs. You have the FEMA personnel system, you have the Homeland Security personnel system. You have the FEMA computer system, you have the Homeland Security computer system. And all of those are just, it's a bureaucracy on top of a bureaucracy. And the easiest way to cut that is what any business would do, lower your overhead. Lower the overhead. It's good advice. Michael Brown, former FEMA director. Good to see you, Michael. Thanks so much for being here.
Good to see you, David.